Welcome to the 9 to 5, boys. This is the first episode of the new year. It is 2023. It is a new year. Same old guys over here doing this. Same old boys doing this podcast.
Yep.
Um,
Same old shit, different toilet.
yeah, that's right, man. That's right.
Yeah, hopefully not a truck stop bathroom. Hopefully a very nice hotel bathroom.
No, I think we usually meet somewhere in the middle. Like we're kind of like we're like a rest, like I'd say. What's between that? Like there's
We're a
gas station.
well-maintained Burger King bathroom.
A well-maintained Burger King You're right. You're right. You're right. There's occasionally still shit on the floor, um, but also there are employees to clean it up.
Exactly. The occasional Whopper wrapper in the toilet,
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. The king would be proud.
The kid. This would make the king proud. You just gotta shit on the floor and in the sink and in the urinal and everywhere.
Speaking of the king, I finally saw Elvis, the Presley movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me your thoughts. I'm really curious because I've talked to Jack and Nate about this all the time, but I want to hear what you have to say, man.
Okay, not gonna lie, at first I thought it was mid. Like, I thought Austin Butler's performance was incredible. Like, he really enveloped the role of Elvis Presley. But I thought it was
No,
mid
absolutely.
because of the style and, like, how much of it was actually true versus what was not. I did some research. It turns out everything in the movie was actually true. It was all true.
Well, that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
at least it was accurate. That's an accurate biopic. It's more to say than Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh my god,
Um,
yeah. No, if I put biopics on my list, Rocket Man, Elvis, Bohemian Rhapsody. I haven't seen Walk the Line yet, so I might put that like before Bohemian Rhapsody, but you know.
I need to watch like Ray and Walk the Line because I've seen the clip of Walk the Line where he's doing Folsom Prison Blues. And it's a really good scene. So I want to see the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
For sure. But Elvis, yeah. So Elvis, like, first off, Austin Butler was phenomenal. I mean, like, even though he doesn't like, I mean, he looks kind of like Elvis, and especially with the makeup they've given him, it kind of helped a little bit. But like,
No, and then later when he gets the tan though, he looks exactly like Elvis. Like, it's
yeah,
insane.
Tannenhouse. Yeah, no. So I mean, he really delves into that role, and he really sells it. He's very good. It's very quotable. One of my favorite lines is like, "What are they doing?" It's like, "It's the wiggle, man. They want to see you wiggle." Like, it's just so funny to me. I don't know. I do also think so. The chaos of it. The director, what is his name? I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. Baz Luhrmann. Is that
Baz
right?
Luhrmann.
Baz Luhrmann. Thank you. So, Baz Luhrmann, he's got a very distinct style. Like I saw this also in his other movie Moulin Rouge, where like it's a very chaotic style where there's a lot of cuts and pans that are just sort of wonky. Um, and I mean, but I think it kind of helped for the story he was trying to tell. Um, but again, it is jarring at first. I remember like the first 2 minutes, I was like, okay, I gotta like settle in for this. But there's I think where it helps is, excuse me. I've this is not my first White Russian tonight. Um, what's helped him a little bit is the scene where it really helped, that technique helped, was that it was when it was sort of the back and forth between like Elvis and the guitar player in the church, right, and him just being enveloped by that sound. I think the chaos really helped to sell that point and why it was so important for Elvis to pursue doing music and to pursue especially blues and grassroots and that sort of thing and rock and roll in its origins. Why he helped to popularize or why he needed to utilize that to popularize it because he fell in love with it. Um, and I certainly think that I mean while he did become famous off of rock and roll, a genre invented by curated by African Americans. I think that also probably was kind of helpful in it getting to the American audience because or the white American audience, I should say, because it was very much akin to like Al Jolson. He was a jazz singer from the like 30s and stuff. 20s and 30s, and he helped to like popularize like ragtime and jazz and stuff for like the for white America, and so I think like that's what Elvis was doing too. But I do want to also recognize he did fucking steal rock and roll. And he wasn't even as good as it at it as like Little Richard or others, right? Or like BB King and shit like that. And
Yeah.
but I mean, I do think that that was probably where the technique was helpful. But I do know that it's also just a very chaotic way of cutting and panning and stuff. And it's just I definitely like it's it's his directorial style can be hard to digest sometimes, and so that's sort of like that's what turned me off of Moulin Rouge a little bit. Was like I like the story he was trying to tell. I really dug the soundtrack; that was sweet. But like the chaos of the directing was a bit much for me. But again, maybe that's kind of like helpful to the stories he tries to tell. Because Moulin Rouge was a little cartoonish, and I mean Elvis was just very fast paced, and but yeah, no, I mean I think overall the movie is fine. It's like I definitely watch it again. I fucking hated Tom Hanks as that Colonel guy. I
I
just couldn't get over the
know.
accent. I couldn't get over the stupid accent.
Okay, well, here's the reason why. I thought the accent was stupid for the longest time until like I actually looked up the real life dude. It turns out that Colonel Tom Parker was some Dutch guy named Anders something Kulin.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He was some weird Dutch dude. Yeah,
Yeah, he snuck into the United States when he was 20 years old and tried to pass himself off as American the entire rest of his life, even earning the title of Colonel because he was such a well known and successful music promoter.
hmm
And so hence the stupid accent. So like to Tom Hanks's performance, like he nailed it right on the head. The fact that you hated his character so much speaks to his level of acting. Like,
that's true. I mean, he
yeah.
does. He did play it, but I'm saying I just couldn't get over the fact that Tom Hanks was putting on the accent. It was just a little ridiculous for me. I get why he was doing it. It was to fit in character. It's the same as like if Austin Butler didn't have that Southern accent that he curated to be Elvis, he wouldn't have been able to sell being Elvis. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's like
So I get that.
you have to think of it from the perspective that like he's an American dude trying to play a Dutch guy pretending to be American. He's literally Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
He's Kirk Lazarus. Okay. This
Yeah.
might reframe my thinking of the whole situation. Then
Right?
he's just. I don't read the script. The script reads me.
It's I don't
But,
read the script. The script reads me.
See, I don't read the script. The script reads me.
Fucking oh my god! I still need to see Knives Out, A Glass Onion, or
Glass Onion is
Yeah.
fantastic. I watched both of them, and this may be a controversial opinion. I don't know, but I frankly think the second one is just a little bit better than the first one.
Okay, see, because I saw the first one and that was great.
Yeah,
I have
it's
not seen
phenomenal,
Glass
right?
Onion, which is a shame because I love Dave Batista and I want to see him do great things.
The cast was really impressive. Like you had the woman who played Agatha in WandaVision.
Yeah,
She's like a very good actress. I think she used to be like mostly a comedic actress, right?
I believe it. Yeah, she definitely
Um,
has that kind of look.
but she has the chops though, dude. She's like really good in this one. And then there's like you said, it's Dave Batista, Edward Norton. I even liked in this movie. He plays some like some or some like millionaire douchebag.
Oh my
And he
god.
does it really well. Who else is in it? I gotta remember the name of.
Jennifer Hudson, or no, Kate Hudson.
Kate
That's the
Hudson's
one.
in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Janelle, dude, don't even get me started. I was like really like skeptical on Janelle Monáe, not because I don't like her or anything. She's actually like quite a good musician. I think her album, what's it called, Dirty Computer, is really good. But anyway, so like, I what I what I weary of is when musicians try to like to breach over to that other field of acting, right? And like it doesn't always work out. Like I mean, Justin Timberlake's a fantastic actor. That worked out well.
Yeah.
I guess Ed Sheeran now did his acting debut in that movie yesterday, which I still haven't seen, but
Oh my
I've heard it
god.
isn't great. But so I was a little worried about that. But she actually does really well, and yeah, I don't want to say anything else, but she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shouldn't say a word about it. It's a great movie, and it's just the story is really just um layered. It's very layered, like an onion, which I think is what Ryan Johnson was going for. So great movie. Definitely recommend whenever you have the chance. Like I know it's like 2.5 hours long or something like that. It's a pretty long film.
Dude, you're telling this to the guy who just watched Elvis a couple
Which is
days
2.5
ago,
hours long. Yeah,
and then I just watched Blonde. Like I just finished Blonde today, and that's two and a
Blonde
half
is like
hours too.
3 hours, isn't it? That's
It's
like
2 hours 46 minutes, but yeah, who's counting?
pretty much 3 hours. Like I mean, like the Bad Man is like what 2 hours and 50 minutes, but really that's 3 hours, guy.
Oh my
Um,
god.
that's a great movie. I mean, the story really wraps up well. But I mean, I haven't seen Blonde, and I've been a little weary because of the online discourse. I know it's like a lot of it's fictional, but I think it's fictional in the capacity that it's trying to tell a certain perspective of well, Maryland's perspective. And I mean, I've also heard it's very intense and weird, and there's like even like an abortion scene that's like just very gut wrenching.
Oh, there's two
But
abortion scenes that are gut wrenching.
there's two. Oh
Yeah.
my god,
Yeah.
that's harsh. Which you know we respect everyone's right to choose, but I'm sure in this film she didn't really have the ability to choose, did she?
Well, it's weird. It plays it from two different perspectives of like pro-abortion and anti-abortion, where it's like, oh, you know, yeah, you can get an abortion, but it looks like this, and it's about as traumatizing as this. Okay, well, then if you don't get one, you can turn out like, you know, Marilyn Monroe's mother, which is not a great option either. Holy shit.
Oh, I'm sure she came from like a bad home. You know what I mean? Like because I like I think about like her life and the way she carried herself. I mean, or the way that she had to portray herself. I shouldn't say like, you know, everyone gets we only get the what we see in the media, and that's very reflective of social media as well. But so you know, the image she was trying to portray did sort of cry somebody who was looking for validation and probably didn't receive that as a kid. So that's harsh.
Yeah, and it seemed like
Yeah.
I don't know how true it is, the relationship she had with her mother, but it seems like her mother was like schizophrenic or having a psychotic break. So
Oh, geez, that's even harder because it's like it's not even really her. It's like it's the mental health, but that can be very hard, and they can you know that can lead to like yeah. I mean, I've seen it in my direct work. It can lead to a slew of issues, but
and also having no father in the picture, this constant validation for like approval and needing like someone to like guide them in their life. Yeah, it would damage a person for sure.
oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, and it would lead to the behaviors that Marilyn obviously engaged in during her life, and I
Yeah.
mean, you know, she's I think every person on this planet just wants like love and validation. I think she always seeked that, but she never felt like she got it, which is why she went through several marriages and other things and doing all these different projects and stuff. I think a great biopic if you're gonna watch it, and it's a little more tame for the audience. If you're gonna watch a Marilyn Monroe pick, is My Week with Marilyn? Is that what it's called?
I think so. It's either My Week with Marilyn or 1 Week with Marilyn, something like that.
I think it's My Week or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got Eddie Redmayne. You know the that one British guy. He plays like some assistant or whatever, and then fucking Emma Watson's in it of all people.
Yeah, two Harry Potter, actors essentially.
Oh, that's right, because Eddie Redmayne does the guy from Fantastic Beasts, which I
Exactly.
like the first Fantastic Beast. I was not so enthralled with the second one, and I'm honestly curious about watching the third.
See, I'd only
but-
watch the third for Mads Mikkelsen because I
And Jude
love.
Law, don't forget Jude Law, man, playing
Oh.
Dumbledore.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I forgot Jude Law. Okay,
Can't
I'm
forget
sorry.
Jude Law, baby.
I'm sorry. Out of all the two Smoky Daddies, I'm sorry. Like Mads Mikkelsen takes the the lead.
He takes priority, dude. You're right. You're
Exactly,
Right. That's
he's-
understandable, you know.
He's Hannibal fucking Lecter. He's Le Chiffre. He's the guy. He's the man.
Oh yeah, he was. That was the name of his Bond villain. Yeah, the chief.
Yeah.
He thwacked Daniel. Man, Daniel Craig is a versatile actor, bro. He played James Bond. He wasn't he in the American remake of the Girl with Dragon Tattoo?
He was. Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't seen that, but I'm sure he was good in it. And then
Oh, I wonder how much they actually kept from the original franchise. Did they have the rape scene in that one? I don't know.
it probably. I mean, I'm gonna guess. I mean, again, I haven't seen the film. I want to exercise. I want to emphasize that. Why did I forget the word emphasis? So, but I'm pretty sure for American audiences, they probably would have tamed it back and not had that in, or maybe they could have. Depends on the director. Depends on the
Or
creative team.
they could have filmed it in such a way where it leads to that, and then they don't show it. Then you let
They
your
don't
imagination,
show it, but they just insinuate that it occurred. Yeah,
and they let your
Yeah.
imagination handle the rest because that's way more terrifying.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was one of the things I liked about the movie Barbarian is like there's that shot of like where it's just Justin Long watching the tape and all we hear is the screams and the what I can only assume is the clacking of a knife on human bone, or a cleaver or whatever the fuck, right? And so that's again that's the beautiful thing is they don't show you the footage, they just give you that little snippet so you can let your brain do the rest. Which
Exactly.
is a great style. It's still because there's often I talked about this with my girlfriend. Is like there's a there's often a tug of war in films about like showing versus telling, right? So telling would be like dumping a bunch of exposition on the audience, and that can be done well in certain situations. Like I think a good example is like in the Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's the scene where like they're explaining or Indy's explaining the Ark of the Covenant to like his colleagues or whatever, and they're also building up why the Nazis are wanting it and stuff, and that helps to build the plot and help the audience understand. Okay, this is why Indy's jumping in and doing his thing, and that's done really well. But and so, but showing is where they like actually visually like put it on the screen for you, and that can often be more powerful, certainly than just dumping exposition or providing random details.
Yeah, but I think like what you're saying is totally right because like in Raiders of the Lost Ark, they do build up the idea of the Ark, and then when they actually finally show it, it has this glow, this ethereal kind of feel to it when they finally reveal it on screen, and you're like,
Right,
oh,
and so they're
this
doing both of those components very well. They're doing the telling and the showing very well.
exactly, yeah. Like you either like show and then later tell, or you don't show at all and you let your imagination handle the rest.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. That's the component. And I think that movie. So Raiders of the Lost Ark is a great example of that. Speaking of Spielberg, I want to see his new movie, The Fableman. I don't think it's in theaters anymore. I have to double check,
It's
but I
the
did want to see that because
first
it's
I'm
pretty
here.
much, huh?
This is the first I'm hearing about this. What is that?
So it's apparently it's his own biopic, pretty much.
Okay.
Which like that's pretty sick to be that level of a good director to like. Oh wait, maybe it's still in theaters.
Oh damn. Okay.
Okay, so there's a showing, yeah, tonight, or like, is there one later this week? Oh, this might be the last week it's played, or they're just not releasing the new times. I know today is like sort of a holiday in terms of the business perspective, so they're not posting showtimes until probably tomorrow or something. But
Yeah. Oh
or updated
dude.
showtimes, huh?
Dude. So do you have HBO Max?
I do, yeah,
Okay. On January 3rd, which is what, tomorrow, right?
yeah.
The menu is dropping onto HBO Max.
Oh, is it? Okay, so I have to check that out.
Yeah.
Sweet, because I didn't get the chance to see that in theaters.
Oh my god, you have to fucking see it. Like they have this one great scene. So in the movie, when they introduce all the dishes they eat in the movie, they present it with like a nice picturesque of what the dish is, and then they describe it in great detail. Like they have the title of it, and then they add the ingredients and everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's one scene in the movie relating to that style that had me fucking dying of laughter. It's so fucking good. And you'll know it when it pops up. You will know it when it pops up.
Fucking righteous, man. I have to check that out. It
Yeah.
sounds like. I mean, it got good reviews overall, right, from the critics and stuff. I mean, I try not to follow those. I try to go in like with my own perspective. Like I'll watch random like B movies. Like I rewatched Bullet Train the other day, and honestly, I think I have more of an appreciation of it through the second viewing. I thought it was funny. I thought it was witty. It's just a basic fun action movie, and it's kind of just like it is on par with like the humor of Deadpool and stuff. So if you go and do it like that, you can enjoy it for sure. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah. No, Bullet Train has like the elements of like a 90s action film, but like updated to have like kind of a Guy Ritchie kind of feel and dialogue to the characters, which is great.
Actually, yeah, some of the conversations were great. I love the banter between Lemon and Tangerine. I thought it was hilarious, and then like
Oh my
the
god.
banter between between Tangerine and Ladybug. I thought that was hilarious. Uh,
Yeah.
Good times, man. It was a good, yeah, it was funny, and then
Yeah.
everything kind of just wrapped up at the end. And I think I finally understood. I understood the plot because it's like it was Michael Shannon's character who brought all the assassins together. Spoiler alert! Brought all the assassins on the train together to kill each other, to get at Carver for killing his wife and stuff. And I was like, oh, but wait, Carver's out sick.
Exactly. It's not even the same guy. It's Brad Pitt's character. It's not, special guest appearance,
Ryan Reynolds, you know.
Yeah. But no,
But
back to the menu. Like the
yeah,
menu is basically imagine if the guy who played Voldemort, Ralph Fiennes, was a sadistic Gordon Ramsay for like 2 hours.
he could do it. He
Yeah,
could do
it's
it.
fucking
I mean, he did
incredible.
do it, so like he obviously has done it. So
Yeah, it's a great dark comedy. You have to check it out.
okay, so I have to go in knowing it's a because it. I mean, from the trailer, it looked like it was a sort of a mixed bag, like a mixed themes.
Yeah.
But I'm down. I'm down to watch it. Based off your hype, what else have I seen recently? I finally was going to see Black Panther. I wasn't like actively avoiding it or anything. I just like me and my girl. We haven't gone to like the movies and like we only went once in all of November, and it wasn't even together. It was like separately. But
Yeah.
even though we have the AMC Stub subscription, but I finally went to go see it,
Did you bring the
and
tissues?
I did not. But I did cry a little bit. I especially like um. I thought it. I thought it was overall very good. And this is the shared gripe we have is that it felt like it was two movies shoved into one. But I do kind of understand it because I think I was reading somewhere that it was originally supposed to be written as like a father son story um because the first one was a father son story. So the first movie was written from a son's perspective, and the second one was supposed to be written from a father's perspective because he spoiler alert. Look, if you're invested, you're gonna fucking watched it when it came out. It came out like a month ago, like a month and a half ago. Get over yourselves, nerds. But
Yeah, anyone that jumps on Twitter knows the spoilers, okay?
exactly, yeah. You know the spoilers the weekend of, like the day of. But he has a kid, so with Lupita Nyong'o, uh, yeah, yes, yeah, with Lupita Nyong'o, and um, so he has a child with her, and so before Boseman sadly passed away, the script was supposed to be about him trying to raise his son. But then the script had to be changed because he, passed away. I do like how they told that story though, because it's sort of it provides both closure for for the audience in some capacity and closure for the characters as well, for the characters who survived him passing away. I also really liked Namor's character. Thought he was sick. I thought that was dope. I liked the way his story kind of unfolded. But again, it felt like there was very much two movies being told. It was like first one of grief, and then it was one of fighting Namor. And then the Namor conflict kind of like I like that they kept him alive because I want to see more of him. I think that's great, but I think it's also like it's dangerous to do that because he already attacked Wakanda once. Was to stop him from doing that again. You know what I mean? But
Well, I think it reflects to like the social political ideology of the time. Like the first Black Panther dealt with the idea of like Black Lives Matter. Essentially, you cannot escape the fact that there's definitely some elements of that in there.
oh
And
no,
the
no, I mean that was Killmonger's whole motivation was like he very much took on the sort of extremist Black Panthers reaction to it, like the Black Panthers in terms of like historical reference. If the audience knows what I'm talking about, if they're educated enough, but
yeah,
yeah,
so
so absolutely.
let me break it down for everyone out here because a lot of people were like saying the first Black Panther is like we was Kangs, you know, just some Republican dumbasses like spouting that shit.
Right, yeah.
Whereas I can argue to you that the first Black Panther argued the idea that Wakanda sees itself as their nation against everyone else on Earth, and so
Yeah,
they
very
have like
isolationist, yeah.
so they have a very anti-refugee policy. Then King T'Challa takes reins, and he's trying to deal with the fact that he's seen the outside world. He knows it's hurting, and he knows he needs to protect his people, but he has to grapple those two ideas. And then in comes Killmonger, the extreme ideology of like black supremacy, where
Protecting his people and then going to war with everyone else, yeah.
exactly, because a lot of like the toxic energy coming through the Black Lives Matter movement early on in its movement is that they only support black people who support that movement. Like if black cops get killed, they praise that shit, even though if they were true to Black Lives Matter, they would be saddened by anyone of like that, you know, skin tone being killed, regardless of
Hmm.
their job affiliation and whatnot.
Right, yeah, naturally.
Yeah. So Killmonger is the extreme version of that. He's the bad guy in the movie, having this extreme ideology of like, all black people versus everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
He gets fought. He gets, he essentially game ends himself because of, he'd rather be dead than in chains, as he put it.
Mm-hmm.
And then King T'Challa comes to realize, shit, we're all one tribe on this planet. Like, we gotta help everyone out, man. Like, it's not Wakanda against everyone else. It's everyone. We gotta join in together and, like, use our technology to help everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With Black Panther 2, it deals with the idea of, like, alliances and whatnot. They set that first, in the movie with, apparently France trying to steal Wakanda technology.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was like kind of just left alone. Like, it was pretty much. Well, I mean, luckily the Queen didn't like wage war against France, but like that's an act of aggression, man. This aggression will not stand, And so
Exactly.
the fact that she was just like, this is a warning, was kind of intense. Like, you'd think like there would have been, but I mean, the whole movie is trying to tell the story of like of Wakanda, so not so much caring about like, oh, people are kind of dogging on France for like making a bad move. In the conflict of the film, France hasn't made any dog moves, any bad moves that I know of. But
exactly. So they set that tone early on in the movie that it has something to do with like political alliances and how that world works and whatnot. Because Wakanda, as far as we know, up until this point, they harbor all the vibranium ever on planet Earth. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's assumed that they have all of it because of the meteorite, yeah.
Exactly. Until they realize, oh shit, an underwater kingdom also has a ton of vibranium, and they're just as strong, if not stronger, than Wakanda. So then the whole movie is them fighting against them, against Namor. Then, the hero decides to spare Namor instead, and then decide to build an alliance, essentially work together. Because if they both work together, no one else on planet Earth can stand against them.
Very true.
Yeah.
That is a good point, and you're right. That is mostly the theme of the movie, is like about alliances. Because I mean, Namor's trying to encourage them to fight together. Shuri is trying to convince him of a more peaceful resolution, where he doesn't defeat every country, just because he can. And he can do it.
Yeah.
Unless he gets too dry or whatever, but
And also because the movie ends with Namor being defeated and his people being like, "Well, what the fuck was that? Like, you could have totally taken them out."
Like, the fuck, bro? Like,
yeah, I know for a fact that he's planning because everyone knows about Wakanda. Everyone knows about how much vibranium they have and everything, and how they're the toughest nation on Earth, essentially.
They are.
No one knows about Talokan. No one knows about that underwater city. Period. If Wakanda ever gets attacked, and so much so to where they need assistance, and they get assistance from Namor in his city of Talokan, he can use that to his advantage and essentially take over Wakanda if he wanted to.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because his forces are stronger. It's clearly proven in the movie, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole geopolitical, game that they're playing, and it's hella smart. It's actually very impressive.
It is. It's very cool. Yeah, I like the second movie overall. I thought it was good.
But damn, that scene when they revealed, T'Challa's son, it fucking hit me like a bullet. I literally slumped back like I got shot, bruh. Like, fuck.
Yeah, it was pretty heavy, man. The whole movie was pretty heavy.
Yeah, they did not let up for a second.
Hmm?
They did not let up for a second. It was just grim.
No, they didn't, dude.
Yeah.
It was very grim. It was like the scenes where they did focus on that healing component. They really helped you sit. They really made you sit through it. You know what I mean? And I thought that was great. But it was also, it was very well done. The action was cool. Yeah, again, I think it was just like it was two movies being told at once, which is why the movie's also so fucking long. But It could have been really two movies, but
I think the most
anyhow,
I think the most disappointing thing is that this is like the best Marvel movie to come out this year, and we've had like what, four of them?
we had Multiverse of Madness. Didn't we have no Far From Home or No Way Home was last year, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, 2021, I should say now because it's 2023. What else came out this year?
I want to say, God, Thor: Love and Thunder.
That's right, Thor: Love and Thunder came out. That's right. That one was fine. I'm not gonna watch it again. Probably. Maybe I'll watch it one more time. Get a second thought. But it was like I first off they submitted it for being like to the Academy for like visual effects, and I was like, bruh, like are you kidding me? That scene alone, where it's that kid's fucking floating head, is so shit. That should have shamed you into not doing anything with the film further. You know what I mean? Like, um,
You know what? I'm
yeah,
actually all
just
for it because like the Academy Awards are shit. They've been like getting more and more shit for the past 3 years now. Do it. This will be the nail in the coffin for those fucking awards. I swear to God.
I can't wait for Terrifier 2 to be announced up there and see if they do anything with it, bro. That'd be so much fucking fun, man.
Oh, that would mean those old fucks that run the Academy have to watch that fucking thing. Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, that's the
Yes.
whole. That's what I love because it's those old schmucks.
Yes.
God damn it, those old schmucks. They make the choices and they're so fucking old school and stuff, and so pretentious. Let's show them like a very gory, horror flick, cheap horror flick too, which is very cool. I'm very impressed with the way that that movie was able to bounce back and do its thing. I do need to see it, but man, I've heard some horrible things about it.
Oh yeah,
Like, I
same.
mean, horrible isn't like the reactions to it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and like that someone had to get fucking like an ambulance called because of like their reaction to it in the theater. It was like that's insane, dude. But I
Jesus.
mean, also that person's just probably weak. They haven't seen shit.
Probably, yeah. Look, honestly, I think the movie is like fun if you get like a whole bunch of your bros together, get a little drunk, and then watch it and then laugh at it. Don't even
Right,
take it
exactly.
seriously.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Oh, two other movies I saw recently was Amsterdam and The Black Phone.
okay, yeah, tell me about those. How are they?
Okay, Amsterdam is pretty good. It's a story you definitely like can tell where it's going, start to finish.
Oh, it's
Uh
pretty predictable. Oh, okay, that sucks.
yeah, but it tries to balance like a whole lot of like creative, colorful characters with an amazing all-star cast like Anya Taylor-Joy, Rami Malek, Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, John David Washington, Robert De Niro, you know,
It
Timothy
is a
All.
stacked cast.
It's insanely stacked. I keep seeing a new character and I'm like, holy how did they get all these people in here? What is going on?
It's from some like who's the director of it? Do you know?
I don't know.
It was supposed to be some like visionary person, isn't it?
I think so. It was like some
Yeah.
guy named David Russell or something like that. It was something painfully white, but
Okay, that sounds. What has David Russell directed? Actually, I'm curious.
yeah.
Look
The
at
the movie itself feels like it's trying to be like Quentin Tarantino meets like Wes Anderson, and it kind of gets those vibes, but it's still like a very predictable story.
Oh, he directed the American Hustle, Silver Linings Playbook, The Fighter. Oh yeah, okay, cool,
Okay,
sweet. So I mean, he's a good director, obviously.
clearly. Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty good film. I mean, you'd enjoy it mostly for Christian Bale's character. He's got great one-liners.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
he seemed the most exciting. And then the other one you saw was Black Phone. Tell me about that one. I was curious about it.
I like that one actually a lot better than Amsterdam. I thought The Black Phone was really well done. It was so fucking good.
Very cool.
Yeah. I will say this, don't watch it with any bit of lighting in the room. You got to like turn down the lights as much as possible because of the way they shoot the movie. It's like very hazy, kind of grainy, very 1970s feel to it.
Oh, interesting. See, I can do that with my apartment. I've got like this place. If I turn off all the lights and pull the blackout curtains, it gets like just dark as shit in here.
Yeah. Also, Ethan Hawke, he is the most menacing person on screen. Like it is insane, the performance he gives.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's a good actor. I liked him. I thought he was one of the better parts of Moon Knight.
Dude, and that's what I love too. Like fucking, what is it? His daughter was the one that convinced him to, be in Moon Knight.
Oh, sweet. That's righteous, man.
Yeah, she's like, hey, Dad, you should be in Moon Knight. It's like, really? It's a Marvel project. It's like, yeah, but come on, like, it's their sandbox. Join in and show them what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very true, man. Very true.
Fucking crushes it. He really does.
Yeah, I thought he was one of the better. I mean, I liked Oscar Isaac too. Again, he definitely carried the show. I mean, it helps too that your main character is likable.
Yeah.
The story overall was like fine. I will say my favorite episode of Moon Knight. I'm sure we've talked about this episodes ago. Was the Asylum episode. I thought that was just like some of the best storytelling that Marvel's done in like a while.
Oh my god, yeah, like, I think Oscar Isaac just joined that project because he's like, yeah, let me show that I can actually, like, act my ass off to play, like, such a fascinating character.
And he's gonna play Spider-Man 2099 in Into the Spider-Verse, dude, or Across the Spider-Verse, dude. It's gonna be sweet, man.
Dude.
I'm hyped for that movie, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Okay, the thing that would make me shit bricks, though, is because you love the music artist John Lindahl, right?
Oh, I love John Lindahl, yeah.
Yeah, he's expressed interest in playing Spider-Man at some point.
He could be one of the many Spider-Men across the universe, yeah.
Exactly. Like,
two
things I want that could happen is, A, he's in that movie as a variant of Spider-Man, because A, multiverse, why not? Or, if they do actually incorporate him into the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Spider-Man, he can play Ben Reilly Spider-Man.
Which one's that one?
He's like a clone of Peter Parker, and he becomes like a variant of Spider-Man. I think called like I forget the name of his Spider-Man. Let me look this up real quick. It's something like Scarlet or something.
Very cool.
Ben Reilly.
He would probably make a good Spider-Man. He's got the swagger.
Yeah, also known as Scarlet Spider, yeah. Benjamin Ben Reilly, also known as Scarlet Spider, is a fictional superhero in Marvel Comics, yeah.
Oh, cool.
And he's the one with that kind of men's crop top over his costume.
I'm not familiar. I'll have to see a picture myself.
Yeah.
I read the Spider-Verse comic book, or like the graphic novel they had, which is very good. It's very well written.
Also, it's perfect, too, because John Lindahl is indeed a dancer. He knows how to dance, so he has control over his body. He can make an amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, this one. Okay, yeah, that would be sweet.
Yeah, dude. And he's got similar facial structure and everything to Tom Holland, so it wouldn't be that unbelievable that he's like a failed clone experiment or something.
Wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities. But I mean, they also in No Way Home, they had 3 different Spider-Men on screen.
That is true. Although they kind of already set that with the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse with what is it? Penny Parker, and then also Noir Spider-Man, because for a fact that man definitely has like salt and pepper in his hair. I'm sorry.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I love that Nick Cage played Noir Spider-Man. He did so well too. It was just the first one was great, and then there was John Mulaney with Spider-Ham, dude. That's dope.
Back when John Mulaney wasn't controversial, oh my god.
Is he controversial now? What did he do?
Apparently he cheated on his wife with Olivia Munn and got her pregnant, so yeah.
Oh, that's how that began? I didn't... Oh my god. I thought he left his... I just assumed... I mean, I see them in posts together. I follow them both on social media, so I assumed, like, he had left his first wife. Holy shit, man.
I know.
But also, I mean... what happens on the road don't concern folks at home. As the Elvis movie told us.
That is true, but I think there was also cocaine involved, because that wasn't like...
he was. I mean, he had to go to rehab for that shit. Yeah, I didn't even know. I mean, he seems like a cokehead though. I didn't even know he was a coke addict though. But people don't usually. He'll joke about it probably on stage, but he wouldn't like. Actively admit, like, oh yeah, I'm a fucking addict, you know what I mean? Like, unless it was, like, good for, PR or good for him to tell the story. I know Matthew Perry's making the rounds, because apparently he was high the whole time on Friends, which, like, that's, like, It's always surprising to me when you find that out about actors, like because I watch like there's the what's the movie with Robert Downey Jr. and Michael Douglas and Tobey Maguire. It's what's it called? It's
Wonder Boys.
Wonder Boys. Yeah, that was the time when Robert Downey Jr. was like an addict and stuff, and he was still like deep in his addiction shit. Um, and it's just it always gives you a new perspective on the person when you think about that. And especially like you think about like Chris Farley and like his old footage, and you're like, man, a lot of that probably was the cocaine stuff.
Yeah, no, the reason why he died was a fucking 8-ball. Like, same way John Belushi went out.
Yeah, John Belushi also. Yeah, and so then you also watch like Blues Brothers, and you think like, oh yeah, that's like and Animal House too, and you're like, oh maybe like part of that was the drugs. And so it's interesting hearing Matthew Perry make the rounds because he talks about like he said something that struck me. He said in an interview, he's like, I didn't like watching episodes of Friends because I could always identify what I was on. Like, oh, that's opiates, oh, that's alcohol, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, right. Like that's just. I mean, but that's like how he lived and stuff. That's how he like really fucked himself up. So it's a miracle he's like okay and stuff. We support Matthew Perry and him in his recovery, and we hope him well. That's a 9 to 5 boys stamp of approval there. To Matthew Perry doing well. Even though I haven't even finished season 1 of Friends, so I'm not terribly invested. I know it's like supposed to be some classic sitcom. And it's cool and stuff. It's funny. I think it's just it's good humor, so a lot of it's funny. I think David Schwimmer is like probably one of my favorites on that show.
Yeah, it's funny too. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if Matthew Perry is like recovering from like drug addiction, that's great. That's good. I wish him all the best. But I'm more of a David Schwimmer fan myself, anyways. So I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, like again, we wish Matthew Perry well. No ill will, but also David Schwimmer is definitely of the characters that were on the show. I liked his character the best.
Also, David Schwimmer as Rob Kardashian in OJ or in the People versus OJ Simpson, fucking out of pocket character for him to play, but fuck, he did him pretty well.
I'm sorry, he plays the Kardashian lawyer to OJ Simpson that started the fame for the other Kardashians. I have to watch the show, dude. I have to watch this show. Oh my god,
dude, it's so okay. Like, there's I think 3 seasons of the show. The first one is the People versus O.J. Simpson because the whole series is called American Crime Story.
Yeah, so it's like each season is going to be a different saga and stuff. I think it's the same with like the Jeffrey Dahmer show. So it's called Monsters or whatever. But like the first season was like the Jeffrey Dahmer story. The next one's going to be about some other schmuck. But we've talked about this. But so anyway, go on.
Yeah, so the first one is The People versus O.J. Simpson, which is fantastic. It is such good television. It's so good. The second season, I thought was mid because it's the assassination of Gianni Versace, which it was good, but the way they framed it, it almost felt like it was destined for Andrew Callahan to kill Gianni Versace, even though they had no spiritual connection to each other whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually debatable on if they ever actually met in person before Andrew Callahan decided to shoot him point blank in the face in Miami.
God damn. And what was the decision? Why did he do it?
He was on a killing spree because he was a prolific liar. He was also into doing BDSM porn and prostitution. He was just a psychotic scumbag.
He was a lot of things, man. He was a lot of things.
And Gianni Versace, he was just a gay Italian who wanted to make nice clothes, man. Come on.
It's all the boy ever wanted to do.
Yeah, man.
And also do men, but
Exactly. One of the facts I find interesting about Gianni Versace is that he based his company's logo off of a statue he saw of Medusa, the Gorgon from Greek mythology.
Nice.
And he spent his entire life trying to design clothes and dresses that Medusa would wear because in original Greek mythology, she was actually completely naked the entire time. Because if no man can see her without turning to stone, what the fuck would the point of wearing clothes be?
That's true, because no one would be looking at her, yeah.
Yeah, so he designed dresses and outfits that not only made people feel sexy and confident, but also with the idea of what she would actually wear if she wore anything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Man was at the top of his game, man. And then now the company's just one of those other fashion brands that does pretty attractive clothing, but also outrageously overpriced.
Yeah, I mean that's what there's supposed to be these high end brands like there's was it Michael Kors or Gucci or Versace or whatever the fuck, right? Um, uh, it's all just about name and status. It's the name attached to it. It's like it's like for instance like a Gucci belt, right? At the end of the day, it's just a fucking belt. But like the fact that it has the name Gucci attached to it, which is like become associated with the title of status, or like a Versace bag or something. It's only that much more valuable because of the name that's attached to it.
Exactly.
Which is kind of how the whole fashion world works and stuff. I've thrifted very fun and nice clothing instead of having to go buy it from like expensive brands. Like that's just like, and I think that's a good example of a greater conversation. But yeah, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's all just about the status thing. It's like you wear like an authentic Gucci thing. You're like, oh, you know, one person would react of saying like, oh my God, you're so wealthy, you can afford this sort of thing. Or another person like myself would say, you're a fucking idiot who spent $500 on a fucking bag. But
True.
you do you, fam.
No, and that's another thing too. Like the fashion brands, like the clothes do look pretty nice, but they're insanely overpriced for something that's like very basic that I can literally get anywhere else. If you want to sell me something good, sell me something like retro or like truly outrageous and unique.
Like
Like,
I went to Tommy Bahamas, right? And like Tommy Bahama is cool and shit, right? But like I didn't realize how fucking expensive it would be. I passed by a shirt, one of your like a button down like that you're wearing right now. I
yeah,
passed by it. The price tag said 130 for the single shirt.
I'm pretty sure I paid 30 for this. What the fuck?
Exact, right? It's just like you. It's again, it's the name that's attached to it. People will see the tag. It's like, oh, it's Tommy Bahamas. It's like, or for instance, like I remember, like my girlfriend in college, I bought her like for her graduation. Fucking what was it? Oh, I bought her like a watch, I think. Oh yeah, it was a watch. So, but I went to Jared, right? So that's like, but that's their slogan. It's like he went to Jared because like they know it's expensive, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
and also while we're on the topic of watches, watches are one of the weirdest fucking accessories that can cost anything between $5 to 20,000. You know what I mean, or maybe even more.
Yeah.
Which is just an odd thing. It's just a fucking clock. Like I bought this cheapy one off Amazon for like $15. And it works, tells time and shit.
Dude, fucking
Does what it
okay.
needs to do. It looks
Like
relatively nice.
in terms of like clothing and whatnot, like if I want to get something nice, just get me a place that has like 70s aesthetic clothing, man. Like some bell bottom jeans, a nice shirt, booty shorts underneath. Come on.
We gotta bring back fucking 70s clothing, man. I've got this cardigan that was straight from the 70s, which is sick. That I thrifted,
Yeah.
which is dope. But then also like bell bottom jeans would be good.
I could see you in that with some bell bottom jeans and some like medium heeled boots,
And like
honestly.
a button down and fucking and like a vest, bro.
Exactly, bro. Like, come on. It'd be perfect.
It would be, dude. It would be just fantastic.
Yeah, in terms of fashion, like everyone thinks the 80s was cool. Nah, fucking the 70s, man. They were lit. They were awful as a time period, literally in every other aspect, but fashion, oh fuck, they were on fleek.
Yeah, it was a pretty harsh period for a lot of individuals. Actually, the 70s were not great. That was like the beginning of the 70s was the end of the Vietnam War, though, and also the beginning of the Watergate scandal. Um,
Yeah. And,
oh, then there was the oil crisis, right?
exactly, yeah.
What else happened in the 70s? I don't know. Aerosmith happened.
Well, okay, they're not bad. They're pretty fucking good.
Yeah, like I see. Okay, so here's the thing. First off, I will say they're very talented at what they do. Steven Tyler is a great singer. Maybe not a great person, but a great singer.
Yeah.
But like, I don't fuck with their music is too dad rock for me. I don't know. It's like it's not. It's fine. I mean, I've got like a few favorites. Like I like their song. I like Dude Looks Like a Lady. That one's dope.
Dream On.
Dream On. Dream On's a classic.
Sweet Emotion.
Huh?
Sweet Emotion.
Sweet Emotion. Sweet Emotion's very good. But I don't actively go out and listen to them. Like, I'll listen to their hits, but like nothing of I won't go out and listen to a full album like I would with like Creedence, or like or fucking Cream, or Zeppelin. You know, I
Zeppelin
don't
were in the
think.
'70s, so there you go.
Yeah, yeah, they had some stuff. Yeah, their what was it? Their what's the album that has Cash Beer on it? What's it called
Physical
again?
Graffiti.
Thank you. Physical Graffiti came out in '75, I think it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's '70s rock. Um,
Black Sabbath.
oh, Black Sabbath was like the birth of metal, so you know you gotta love them. But I don't think Aerosmith was like a particularly great quality of the '70s. I mean, again, a couple of their stuff is great.
Yeah.
Some of their hits are good. I'm sure this is an unpopular opinion, but it's not. It's not. It's like again, it's a band. It's a band that's fine. You know what I mean? Like if they're on, I'm not gonna like tell you to skip or anything, but like I'm not gonna actively go out and look for their music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, what else happened in the '70s?
Deep Purple and Pink Floyd.
Oh well, actually, Pink Floyd started in the '60s, late '60s.
Yeah, but then their like kind of peak hit like early to mid '70s though, and then like
Oh no, absolutely. I
once
mean,
the
because
'80s
their
rolled
first, dude,
around.
if you listen to their first two albums, they're like very experimental, which is like cool, and I respect the fuck out of that. I think it's
Yeah.
like very cool to do stuff like that, and that's why I listen to a lot of like psychedelic and neo psychedelic rock. But it is just very like for regular audiences, it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
But not intense, but it's just like it's very different than like their popular stuff, like their album "Wish You Were Here" or "Dark Side of the Moon." Um, those albums are they're still in the psychedelic rock realm, but they're very much more digestible. But I also do recommend you listening to their first two albums. I think they're great. And the album covers are sick. But
That is true.
um, but yeah, Pink Floyd's dope. Of course, Deep Purple, classic. Of course, I mean they've got probably the one of the most popular riffs, at least for guitar players to learn. With "Smoke on the Water." What's the other one they have? Highway something?
Highway Star, yeah.
Highway Star. Thank you. I was
Yeah.
gonna say Highway Tune, but that's Greta. Um, so Highway Star is dope.
Also, like just their album Machine Head in general is just an amazing album because you got Smoke on the Water, Highway Star, Space Trucking. I'm pretty sure you also have Knocking at Your Back Door. I could be wrong.
I have not listened to that full album, but I'll add it to the list. I'm kind of stealing my friend's idea. So one of my friends last year was trying to listen to 1,000 albums in a year, which he didn't get to. He got to like 653, which is still impressive. But I'm trying to get to that too. So I'm like trying to I figured out the math. I have to listen to like 3 albums a day, which knowing how much music I listen to, I could probably do it. So then um so I'll add that to the list then. So Machine Head, because I've never listened to that album in its entirety.
Okay, so I was wrong. They don't have that song, Knocking at Your Back Door, or however it's, said.
Mm.
But they got Space Trucking, Highway Star, and Smoke on the Water, which are all great tracks.
Oh, absolutely, all fantastic. Yeah, all phenomenal. Um, um, yeah. What else happened in the '70s?
A majority of serial killers, apparently.
Oh yeah, that was like the rise of serial killings. That's right, because the end of the '60s marked the beginning of that with the Manson murders. Oh yeah, because then Ted Bundy was active during the '70s, right? And John Wayne Gacy too, wasn't he? He was active during the '70s and the '80s, or was it just the '70s?
I think it was the '70s, early '80s. The ones I do know of is Edmund Kemper, Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy Jr., if you want to get specific with his nameage.
Mm-hmm.
Then Herbert Mullen, and then let me see who else. Son of Sam, yeah.
Son of Sam. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, and I think I want to say the Green River Killer, but I'm not sure.
Mm.
And then Paul John Knowles, yeah, his spree was very short, but very prolific for sure.
Who the hell is he?
He was known as the Casanova Killer. He killed like 35 people in like 4 months.
Oh wow! Wait, 35 people?
In 4 months, yeah.
Damn, he was like he was hustling, bro.
He was on that fucking grind, bro. Holy shit.
He was on a grind. He was on that rise and grind type of shit, bro. And I hope he didn't like grind his bodies. This feels like some awful joke, but
No. He just basically killed his first victim, stole their car, and then just drove cross country. Just killing people, and I think like 4 different states. Yeah.
that must have been so hard for people to track because I know like back in the day, police departments in different counties and precincts and all that sort of shit would not want to work together.
Yeah.
They like limited information, which makes it hard to catch people. If they're doing like a federal thing.
Oh, and the balls on this fucking kid too. He was like 26 when he was doing all this, and like apparently 2 cops actually did pull him over at one point. He managed to disarm one of them, hold them both at gunpoint, drive them to a secluded location, and then kill them both.
I'm not saying what he did was good, but man, was it impressive. The
man was hustling.
In any capacity, what he was doing was like a good thing for humanity. But you gotta give the kid props. That takes some fucking moxie, bro.
Yeah, it's like the only person I can accept this kind of behavior from was what was it? Mark Chopper Reed, I think that's his name. Some like Australian criminal who he has a heart of gold to some degree, but boy was he fucking wild in his younger days.
Oh, was he now? Okay.
Yeah, apparently he one of his buddies who was in a gang with him got arrested for some unrelated shit, and so he decided, I'm gonna bust my buddy out of like jail. How am I gonna do that? He's getting like his sentencing in the courtroom right now, so I'm just gonna go in there, run in with a sawed-off shotgun, try and kidnap the judge at gunpoint, and get my friend freed.
And did it work?
It did not work. The kid had moxie, but fuck, it did not work.
Look at those bailiffs with guns. Like, you can't... dude. Oh, my God.
Yeah. But then after a series of, like, criminal activities from this guy, he did end up spending time in jail and then trying to turn his life around by doing PSA announcements for, domestic violence against women, which is great. And later, he actually suffered from like a liver disease, and when they said, "Hey, there's actually a viable donor for you. Do you want to take the liver?" He's like, "Nah, give it to someone else who can use it. Someone better than me."
Oh, okay. So you had some remorse. That's
Yeah.
good. We like a good little redemption story. It was wacko for him to think he could run into a fucking courtroom and try to kidnap a goddamn judge. There's usually armed fucking bailiffs. But anyway.
Oh, that's the tip of the iceberg, man. When he was in prison, like, some guys were, like, having some beef with him, so he thought, these guys are probably gonna kill me. So I gotta try and get out of the cell block by being fucking crazy. So I'm gonna get my cellmate to take his straight razor and cut off both of my ears.
And was he successful in cutting off his ears?
He did manage to cut off his ears. I think at least one of them, and the guards thought, yeah, he's fucking crazy. Let's move him to a different cell block. So it actually kind of worked.
So, and he only lost one ear, so he's Van Goghing the whole thing. Good job.
Exactly.
He's Van Goghing places.
Oh my god.
But we've been recording for about an hour here. What say we clock out, boys?
I think that's a good idea, my good man. So this is the 9 to 5 boys clocking out.